I'm Alo Agnes from Uganda and a feminist. I'm privileged to be part of this training because each time I attend such trainings, they empower me a lot. Yeah, to me, feminism is the way of fighting for gender equality. It's the way of fighting for women's rights. And for now, I really feel challenged. And when I go back to my country, I'll mobilize my fellow women and mentor them so that they'll be able to stand up for their rights. They'll be able to challenge those systems that violate their rights. I call upon all the feminists in the whole world to stand up, to rise up and fight for our rights as women.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Adriana Mendoza, yo soy de Bolivia, soy de la organización Z Tú Decides, en inglés You Decide. Yo estoy trabajando junto con mis compañeros, compañeras jóvenes, todo lo que es derechos sexuales, derechos reproductivos, trabajamos todo lo que es prevención de violencia en jóvenes, trabajamos todo lo que es prevención de embarazos no planificados y pues yo me considero feminista porque creo que es bastante importante conocer este movimiento, ser parte de este movimiento para poder aportar en cuanto a lo que es la equidad de género, empoderamiento de las mujeres jóvenes, empoderamiento económico, pues eso ya que conlleva a que la sociedad vaya mejorando constantemente. Considero que en el movimiento feminista debemos afianzarnos más en diferentes espacios, no solamente en algunos continentes, sino a nivel global, que creo que es esa una muy buena idea. Pues sería solamente eso, creo en la solidaridad, creo en el apoyo entre las mujeres. Muchas gracias, adiós.
Hello, this is Arifullah Shanil. I work for ActionAid Bangladesh at the Global Platform Project as a training officer. For me, feminism is a lifestyle, is a philosophy that talks about the equality of man and women and all kind of gender. And its fight against the all kind of gender discriminations which are created by the patriarchal society in our context. And it's not only the philosophy, it's not only the combat against all kind of discrimination. For me it's a struggle against myself also. Every time in the journey of the feminism, I challenge myself to learn more about the equality, to learn more about the discriminations which are exist in our society. So for me, every time I challenge myself, I try to break down the mind barrier that I exist as a part of my Bangladeshi context. So it's a journey where I can ensure the equality for all kind of gender. So that's me. That's my feminism.
Hi, I'm Noor Jahan. I am from India, and my work in India concerns working with Muslim women. So I'm part of the Muslim women's movement, and I'm here in Tanzania and in the city of Arusha, and part of this wonderful network of young feminists. We are all gathered here to learn from each other, share each other's work, share each other's experiences, and also understand more about feminism, about our own feminist struggles, about the struggles of our fellow sisters, and learn and support each other. I would also like to share my own journey with feminism. For this, I would like to talk about two incidences which have been breakthroughs in my journey, which have been stepping stones, or one can say incidences which have allowed me to bring feminist principles into practice. And the day I was able to do it was the day when I was extremely happy that I was able to actualize it, put it into practice, bring it in my daily life. I remember before getting into a serious relationship with my husband, who became my husband later on, I was able to put a few non-negotiating principles before him, and I told him I will not change my name after marriage. I will not adopt your surname after marriage. I will continue with my maiden name.
I am Jesus Linsaki from Ghana, a member of the Young Urban Women's Movement. My understanding of feminism as a young feminist is fighting to eradicate patriarchy, gender inequalities, discrimination based on gender, one's religion, one's disability, one's sexual orientation in the community. And I believe all humans are the same and must be treated equally, regardless, with no oppression.
Hi, I'm Sheng from the Young Feminist Network in Bangladesh. So, feminism for me is about fighting for your right, regardless of your sexual orientation and gender. Feminism for me is also around having the ability to make decisions without justification and ending patriarchy.
Hi, I'm Nasmin. I come from India. Feminism to me is a very passionate affair. Feminism to me is standing with the last women uh, in the margin and love her, embrace her, believe in her story, stand with her, support her to fight her struggle. Feminism in me grown quite naturally, I guess, seeing a lot of violence against women around me uh, in Indian society, both physically, mentally, and otherwise. In feminism right now, feminist economy is something really excites me because women do a lot of hard work, but when it comes to economic security and wealth, they are at the bottom of the rung.
The world. What is feminism to me? Feminism to me is equality for all. Humanity does not have a gender. Humanity does not have a sex. And humanity is humanity. So there had been some emotions triggered there and then, and I got to have some reflections and get to rethink and think of the other things that we go through in an individual sense, and do some self introspection and do some self-care work. And with some of the instances, it got to remind me of one of the incidences that happened, which whereby I don't know if I was being dramatic or not, but hey, I had a friend. So it was this year when there was a guy who called my friend a side chick, and I was like, what? What is? Wait a minute. Did he just call you a side chick? And she was there like, no, tell me, wait, don't. And to me, it was very triggering because it starts with these small things that we allow people to call us, and it ends up being bigger things and we don't see them. We don't correct things while they're still small because we feel like it's just a joke. And in an essence, looking at music on a larger plate, for me, I'm not one person. I'm not a very big fan of music, and I don't listen to music unless if we're all in one place and listening to music. And analyzing music has just gave me some light and gave me some closure to say, okay, it's fine not to listen to music, and it's good because I've always been pressurized to listen to music for what good reason I don't know. And well, from now on is basically trying to put feminism into every factor, seeing every little thing through a feminist eye, and trying to teach the world that we need to teach each other, we need to inform one another. These spaces shouldn't just be here, and we need to when we are becoming parents ourselves as young people, and our parents are already parents, but you know, when you tell a child you're a boy, you're a girl, you've already assigned gender roles to the children. And in this instance, when we become parents as young people, we need to teach our own children that you are not a boy, you are not a girl, you are a human being. And we need to neutralize the children so that when they grow up, they'll be able to say, okay, I'm a boy or I'm a girl, I'm whatever that I am, and that should be it. And we should learn to treat each other as human beings and not less of the human being, because you are a human being, I am a human being. There's nothing different about you and me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dewi Moon. I am from the Asia, Myanmar. My feminism is for the is on the human, and it's a human rights. It's not just only for fight for the every rights and for peace. This is Feminist is for all of the human, not only for the female. That's it.
So, hello everyone, my name is Manat, I'm from Palestine and I work with Action Ed. Well, my feminist story is that I had no idea what feminism is at the beginning actually, but after attending the Young Women Feminist Gathering, I got that idea of what feminism is, and I really think that feminism is to give women a choice. It's not like a stick that we will fight the society with, but it's about giving women equality, liberation, and social justice. And thank you.
Yeah, it's me, Moez from Nepal. Yeah, my understanding about the feminism is that the role of man in the feminist movement is important, and thinking about to support the feminist movement as a male feminist worker or feminist development worker, to support them to achieve the goal of the feminist movement, to support them to have legal authority or legal provision that will be provided by the government, and also thinking about to achieve the human rights that needs to be assured by the government to live a dignified life of the woman in the globe.
Hello, my name is Mwende Muya from Kenya. My major learning on feminism is that it is about owning our voices and owning our spaces and using every opportunity that we get to exercise our leadership and make sure that all human rights are implemented accordingly.
So when did I start my feminist movement? It's really hard to recall. I should say that when I was studying, I did internship in an organization, and it's called Mighty Nepal. And the organization was working against girls trafficking. So during that internship only, I felt about the problems the girls were facing, because trafficking is such a heinous crime that nobody should be involved in. So I should say that was the year around 2005. So I should say that I felt about the problem of the girls in that time only, back in 2005. So it has become quite a lot of time now. And why also I have answered it, because I felt the problem of the women from close, and I got a chance to interact with the trafficked girls who were rescued. So that was the reason. And how is the journey? The journey is not so simple, because right now in Nepal we can find a lot of problems that the women are facing. It starts from the discrimination right from their birth or before their birth, and it goes on throughout their life. So the journey is not simple. We have to struggle every day and night, and we can't get result. It's a long process. It's a continuous process, and we are still struggling for it. Now I'm involved in ActionAid, and in ActionAid we are focusing on policy advocacy, and we are working with the marginalized women in the community who are staying in the grassroots level of the community. So the journey is not simple, but it is a continuous process, and I'm involved in it. And concerning about my vision, I'll be continuing the movement, and I'll be involved in it, and I'll contribute in whatever possible ways that I can from my end. Thank you.
My name is Nancy Houston. I'm from Kenya. I'm a lawyer, and I identify as a radical intersectional African feminist. Feminism for me means that I have to radically choose myself as a woman. I have to radically make feminist choices in my life so that I can be able to impact other people's lives, other women's lives. I decided to be a feminist because I believe in equality. I believe in social justice. I believe in equal opportunities for both men and women, and particularly I believe in intersectionalism, because we have to come together. We have to come together at a point where we notice the differences our differences and our diversity, our economic diversities, our cultural backgrounds, our social backgrounds come together and intersect at a point where we can be able to create something equal, create opportunities for all of us, and to have something that is just and dignified for everybody in the society.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Opira Godfrey from Uganda. I am a vice chairperson of board of directors of RDP Uganda. RDP Uganda is an organization called Repression for Development and Peace Uganda, and it works in partnership with Action Aid, and I'm also an activist. So I'm here in the city of Arusha on this course of feminism, young feminism organizing convening, which is taking place here at TCDC. And so we are here to learn and share how we've been doing feminism work with partners from different networks globally. But I'm also happy to share a few things that I've been doing. Like at organizational level, as I'm also the chairman of human resource. So I've made it a policy that at organization level we have 12 staffs, but out of those 12 staffs I employed 7 staffs being female and only 5 being women, men. And many people have been questioning me, if all these women get pregnant today, what will happen to the organization? But I said, as an organization, we have a backup system where one can take on the role of the others in case that kind of thing happens. But also at personal level, I am that liberal. I believe in equity. I believe in justice for all. I believe in choice, personal choice. So I feel if it is okay with me, if somebody chooses to do what he wants to do, be it a woman or a child or a young person or an elder, it's okay with me. I believe in justice and inclusion.
Hi, I'm Faith from Nigeria.
And I am Sinanzwe from South Africa.
And we are feminists. Over the past 4 days, we've been opportuned to be in a room with beautiful feminists from across Africa, and we have learned more on feminism and changing the stereotypes on feminism.
And also understanding what feminism is all about. Because when we look at the countries and the spaces that we come from, I, for example, did not want to be called a feminist.
True, I can agree with that.
Because, you told that feminists are those people that want to be above men. Feminists are people who don't want to get married, who don't want families. And that was bull.
Yeah. And now with the new knowledge we have gotten, we can go back to our individual countries and push more on feminism, the actual feminist issues, and advocate for women, girls, and feminist rights.
Yeah, because now we do understand that being a feminist, it's being a social justice fighter.
Yes.
A person that fights for all the injustices and all those whose voices have been silent in our different societies and in our different particular countries, and which also includes fighting for the basic human rights that young women have.
Actually,
So
my name is Chipo Bangira. I work with Action Aid Uganda and a global platform. So what does feminism mean to me? It means equality for all, especially the women and girls that have been marginalized in different aspects of life. Talk about political, talk about social and economic. And when you look at young feminist movement building, what I've learned for the past week and in my life experience is that it's not a walk in the park. It's a journey, it's a struggle that requires collective efforts from each and every individual for us to ensure a gender-just society. And most importantly, in the journey of young feminist movement building, we also need to pay attention to self-care. Before you even lead change outside the world, how are you leading change from within? Bye.
I'm Gladys Kofi from Ghana. I work with Global Platform Ghana. And it has been a very great experience coming here to learn about feminism and how to be a strong feminist. For me, feminism is more of a way of life. It's not just having the name of being a feminist, but then it's an everyday thing. It's about being strong, standing up for your rights, and then defending even those who the young women who are not able to defend themselves in our various communities and in our various countries, our various societies. So to be labeled or tagged as a feminist, others might think it's a bad thing or it's not really nice being a feminist. But then to be able to stand up for someone and also to be able to stand up for myself, it's more than enough for me. So as to what people think about feminism or how others see feminism, it doesn't really bother me because I know what I'm doing as a feminist and I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
My name is Mary Jacob, and it's been an exciting moment here talking about feminism and learning a whole lot. For me, thinking of when I realized my love for feminism, I think I would have to think of when I was born. It's been that far. It's been that long. It's been that good. And when you ask me what feminism is about to me, then I will tell you it's about my life. Because for me, if we can be equal, if women can be recognized, then we have a life.
Okay, so I'm Solika from Bangladesh. My experience is quite bitter, and I know it will be shown in front of all of them, but I guess I should talk about it. So, my feminism started that day when I just realized that I was being abused by my home tutor and by my relative for a long time. So, I will just give a short brief. When I was in grade 4, I was in grade 3 when my mother hired a tutor for me, and the first year was very nice and excellent, and my mother actually started to trust him a lot. And eventually, when I was in grade 4, he was hired again, and probably from that year, he started to gain that courage to touch me in my personal body parts. He couldn't even start teaching me without touching in between my legs or in just in on my chest. So I didn't have any feelings like that, but I was disgusted. And at that time, I tried to reach my mother a lot. I tried to give her hint and I tried to talk with her, but probably that trust was that much strong than my opinion or than my words that she didn't believe me, and it continued for 3 years.
It's a very good training for me. It was a learning space for me. I was get lots of information. Here is lots of people. They are coming from another country. So now I know the perception of their eyes, what is feminism and what they are doing in their communities.
So, in your understanding of feminism, in the way you've understood it before, what is feminism to you?
Okay, it's a good question. For me, feminism is equity for all. In my perception, I think I was born as a human being. So I can be a male, I can be a female, or transgender, blah 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 blah, so many things. But from my birth, I'm a human being. So give me the minimum opportunity. That's very important for me as a human being.
Hi, my name is Changu, and I discovered feminism when I was in university. There were many issues that I saw women face and how women do not have justice in especially rape cases, and that didn't sit well with me. And for my final dissertation, I decided to do a thesis on the feminist views of rape culture in Zambia. And from that journey, I discovered even more women who are going through so much issues in their country. And it made me realize that that is a problem. And I've never looked back ever since. I am a happy, liberal, intersectional feminist, and that ain't gonna change.
Hello everyone, my name is Ellen and I am from Zimbabwe. It has been a beautiful week learning about feminism, to me, which is all about addressing the inequalities which are there between men and women. Feminism has been hated by most people, saying it's for women who cannot find husbands, women who are not getting married. But to me, it's all about addressing these inequalities. What do we mean by addressing these inequalities? Bringing in different intersectionalities, race, culture, gender, nationalities to build up a feminist movement which can actually transform the world, in the world women live in.